Hi, guys. Welcome to Beautiful Eden. It is April 21st, 2026, and here in Zone 9B, it's raining. Take a look. The rain is coming down, and the plants are loving this right now because rain is nature's natural fertilizer. So, rain, let it rain. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. Okay, on today's video, we're going to be planting some starts and filling my tomato raised bed. Let me show you guys. So this is my tomato raised bed. This is the after. You guys are seeing it right now. And I'm going to show you guys the process. And over here is my little jack pumpkins that I planted also. And they're going to grow right up this trellis. Okay, guys, let's get to it. Okay, I got a couple of bags of garden soil. So let's get to this project. This is my tomato raised bed. And right here, I'm going to plant some little jack pumpkin starts. And I'm going to have them grow up this trellis right here. And then on the other side, I'm going to plant the same thing, little jack pumpkin starts, and have them grow up this trellis. It's going to look amazing over here. As you can see, I already prepped this raised bed with some logs, leaves, small sticks, and I have to paint. I want to paint this black, the front of it black, to match. And we got all our garden soil. It's already fertilized, so I don't have to add any extra fertilizer to this. I'm just going to add some worm casting, and it feeds up to 9 months. Okay, now I'm going to start adding green onions to the raised bed because I want to make sure that I companion plant this time this year, because last year I planted a bunch of tomatoes in one raised bed, and I really didn't add any like plants that would deter pests. So this year I'm being intentional, and I'm gonna add green onions, some marigolds, some cinnamon basil, and I'm not just adding a couple, I'm adding a lot. Here are my cinnamon basil starts. I'm just gonna wet the soil right now, so it'll make it easier, for me to transplant my starts. And I'm just gonna, take them out and separate them, because there's a lot of them, in one cell. So I don't know, it might be like 5, a couple. Look like this one is about 2 or 3 in one cell. So I'm just gonna separate them. I'm gonna be gentle and just pull them apart. And I'm just gonna take all of them out and separate them and put them where I want them in the raised bed. I want each tomato plant to have at least 2 or 3 cinnamon basil plants near it. Okay, let me tell you why I'm doing this. Because number one, the smell is amazing to us, but for pests, they do not like the smell. And cinnamon basil and holy basil is one of my favorite companion plants. Okay, so it helps deter mosquitoes, flies, and even tomato hornworms. And the bonus is it actually improves the growth and flavor of your tomatoes. That's a win-win. So I'm planting my basil close to my tomatoes, but not too close to overcrowd them. I still want to make sure I get good airflow throughout the raised bed, between each of the tomatoes, because last season I overcrowded my raised bed once again. And the leaves was touching and they really didn't have any room. And when one tomato plant got spider mites, it transferred to all the other tomatoes because it was too close. So good airflow and spacing is really crucial when you want to plant tomatoes, and if you want to have a healthy and abundant harvest. Okay, now that I separated all of my cinnamon basil starts, I'm just kind of figuring out where I want to place them, and I'm just digging a small little hole and placing them in, not putting them too deep, but just making sure the roots is in the soil, secure, and they're not falling over or anything. So I'm just packing the soil around it. Okay, now we're gonna plant some marigolds, and this is one of my favorite flowers that I use every season. It has so many benefits. It attracts bees, butterflies. It's also good for your soil. It helps, kind of reduce any bad organisms in your soil. It creates a better environment for beneficial microbes, okay? And it builds a better soil over time. You want to make sure you plant these marigolds around the edge of your raised bed or between the crops. Just make sure you have adequate spacing. Okay, now I'm going to fill up this planter box with some soil and worm casting. I'm going to be placing my Little Jack pumpkin starts here with a couple of other companion plants. Okay, now I'm gonna grab my marigolds and my cinnamon basil because we're gonna be planting that in this planter box also. And guys, these marigold seeds are from last season. I collected them, so I don't have to buy marigold seeds, for the rest of my life. So I encourage y'all to do the same thing. If you plant marigolds, just collect the seeds at the end of the season, and you'll have plenty to give away and to keep for the future. Okay, now we're gonna start planting my pumpkin starts. I'm just trying to get it out the cell. I'm struggling a little bit. Okay, I finally got it out the cell. I think I'm gonna do 3 starts in this planter box, and then I'm gonna put another 3 in the other planter box. Okay, right now I'm just figuring out where I'm gonna place my starts. I'm gonna line them up in a row. It looked like it's a little bit too close, but we're gonna work with this. All right, so I'm making sure I'm being delicate with the starts because pumpkin starts have a delicate root system, and we do not want to disturb that. And I'm adding some all-purpose plant food in the soil also, and this is going to help with transplant shock. I know we already this soil have fertilizer in it, and it feeds up to 9 months, but I'm just putting a little bit in with the start, to try to lessen transplant shock. Okay, now I'm going to transplant my cinnamon basil plant. So I think I'm going to put it in the center of the planter box. And then I'm going to put a little, dig a hole. And then I'm going to put a little plant food in that hole. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make a mold of this container. So it'll be easy for me to drop the start just straight into the soil. So I'm kind of pushing it down. I'm kind of packing the soil around the container, and then I'm just going to take this start out the container, and it's going to drop right into the hole, just like that. I mean, no digging, and you just move a little soil, around the start and pack it in. My favorite way to plant. Okay, now we're going to start planting our marigold seeds. And I don't do marigold starts because when you plant them, they just pop up so quickly. I just go ahead and plant them when I, start transferring my plants. Now I might have like 1 or 2 or maybe 3 marigold starts, but other than that, I just, plant them from seed directly into the raised bed. Okay, now I labeled all of my plants, and now we're going to move on to the second planter box, and we're planting the same thing. We're going to do the pumpkin starts with cinnamon basil and marigold companion planting. Okay, as you can see, this cell has 2 pumpkin starts in it, but I'm not going to separate it because I do not want to disturb the roots. So we're going to keep it like it is, and hopefully they make it. Okay, before I put any tomatoes in this bed, I want to add more green onions. Onions have a strong scent, and that helps repels a lot of unwanted insects. So I'm planting my onions around the edge of the raised bed and between some of my tomato plants, and this is going to create a natural protective barrier. Okay, this is a week later. My marigolds have popped up. My cinnamon basil starts are doing great. And what I did, I wanted to prepare this bed first before I added my tomato plants. Okay guys, here are my tomato starts. They're looking great. I didn't record me planting these tomato starts because I wanted this video to focus on the preparation of a raised bed for tomatoes, because tomatoes are awesome, but they attract a lot of unwanted pests like aphids, hornworms, whiteflies, spider mites, and I just want y'all to have a great tomato harvest. So I just wanted to focus on the do's and don'ts of planting tomatoes. And as always, thank you for spending a little time with me in this beautiful eating.